Hey, this is Castle Squire Brandon, and I have here with me one of the authors of Archie Vs Minor Threats, Fireborn, and Lost Fantasy, Timmy Heague.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whatever you are when we watch this. I'm Timmy Heague. I am a comic book writer for Image Comics, Dark Horse, Valiant, Panic Entertainment, and a couple other great publishers. I love comics. I love writing comics. My coffee's kicking in right now after burning the midnight oil till 3 in the morning working on multiple projects. Boom, boom, boom. I love comics and I work in comics retail as well. So I live the dream. By morning, I write comics. By
Yeah,
day, I sell comics. By night, I write comics.
awesome. So, speaking of those comics, Timmy's here to
Yeah.
discuss his work on Fireborn and Lost Fantasy, where the world is a world of magic and myth and monsters that exists beneath the surface of our own, a sort of modern fantasy, as well as Archie versus Minor Threats, where the fun-loving teens of
Yeah.
Riverdale collide with the crooked criminals of Twilight City, which is out in trade paperback now. You can get it.
Yeah.
My first question
Yeah.
is your first writing credit on Lost Fantasy is here in this beautiful issue
Yes.
number 9. My
Yes.
filter is blurring it, but it's gorgeous. It has a Final Fantasy VIII homage cover, and it won't show. I'll put a cutaway to that. And you wrote this incredibly witty backup featuring the new character
Thank you.
Bombshell. What was the experience like working together with the series on creator Kurt Pyers and artist Eamon Winkle to make this crazy story about cultists and Nazi dinosaurs?
So, gosh, what a great loaded sentence there. Those last couple words. I am a huge fan of, let me put it this way. I used to gig. I used to be in a band. I used to play in a rock band. And there's just nothing better than jamming with your friends. And I've been very lucky to say that, like, most of my comics collaborating work, when there's co-writers involved, it's all been with my very close friends or mentors. And that's what's happened here. I've gone from Archie versus Minor Threats, working with my great pals, Patton and Jordan. And now I'm working with Kurt, who I've been, just friendly with for years. And then last year we started getting serious about, collaborating, and that formed just a great, just we're like brothers now at this point. I don't know if there's anybody in my life right now I'm chatting to more than Kurt every day. And it's all, it's not just all comic business. There's some great memes involved there too. You got to send, your pal some memes through the day. And then Eamon, I've known for years and years and years. And so he was my dream pick for this project from the get-go. And I am so glad it worked out and he was able to come on board and the schedules aligned for us. Because he killed it. He really brought this project to life. And as of last night, I just read part 3. We just got the inks from him. And he had said to me week after week, I know this one's taking a little bit longer than the other backups, but like, trust me, you're going to be okay with it. I'm like, buddy, you're way ahead of schedule, so I'm okay with it either way.
Yeah, the final panel of the backup here in 9, man, just the funnest panel I've seen in a long time with
Thanks,
Henry
man.
and Bombshell. Uh, just I love it. And the day before, Scott Thorne, my boss, was like, "Hey, I'm talking to Timmy Hague."
Love
I
Scott.
was sending pictures of multiple panels in that backup to my friends, and I was like, "This is so fun." Nazi
Amazing.
dinosaurs, like it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is comic books right here. And then I get to work
Yes.
and Scott's like, hey, so I'm talking to Timmy. I'm like, okay, I was just talking about Timmy. So that's great.
That's great.
What about
I
it?
love it.
And he's like, so you want to do an interview with Timmy? I'm like, yes. Yes, please.
Love it.
So I'm going to jump into a second question here because I want to
Yeah.
talk about Bombshell. The character of
Yeah.
Sydney Stevens, aka Bombshell, is amazing.
Yeah.
Right out the gate, her
Thank you.
desire to kind of take care of her father's debt from the magical criminals of this
Mhm.
underworld and lost fantasy, is sort of the driving factor of her going on
Mhm.
crazy missions. What are your goals for this character, and what kind of makes you excited to write Bombshell?
Oh gosh. I love it when a character is on a mission, whether it's business or personal, and you know, there's been so much work involved, so much time, so much effort, so much blood, sweat, and tears, and you know something's going to go wrong. You know, it's just there's just something about it that's just going to go so terribly blown up in their face. And I just love writing stories like that. And that is really the 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 archetype story for Sydney is picking up the pieces of debts that her father's accumulated. And in this story, you get it right there. Like she's been, forced, contracted, hired, coerced to find this book that these cultists have already acquired on this island. And it can't just be easy of, just, you know, defeating the cultists and grabbing the book and calling it a day. Of course, when they open up that portal, the portal that's opened up is a portal full of Nazi dinosaurs. And it's just, yeah.
So I love her character already. Very
Thank
snappy,
you.
very witty. But like,
Yes.
there's a level to her. She's not a hunter like Henry Blackheart.
No.
She's just doing this for the love of the game, like, and her
Yes.
father. And she's taking on what is like high level threats in Magic Society that Henry's used to, and like we got a little bit of her backstory with him.
Yeah.
But like she's a pilot. I mean, she's kind of used to some of this stuff because of her father, but
Yeah.
uh in essence, she's taking all of this on where the risk to her is greater than everybody else. Uh
Hmm.
and is that like a big part in the back of your mind of like she's a little in over her head, but like this is her life now.
Yeah, I can say I have scripted many future adventures of Sydney Stevens, aka Bombshell, and I can absolutely tell you and confirm she is way over her head. But she has to get it done. She has to do it. She has to go forward with the adventure. And, everything about her comes to play in this three-part story as well as what's to come because we wanted to give the readers a taste of the embodiment of this character. She, like, when I write this character, at first, Rocketeer in a Hellboy world, badass chick, just a great heroine was the basis, the foundation. And as I started crafting the origins, the motivations, I kind of realized that like wow, this I've come up with a character that is Boba Fett meets Indiana Jones with an aesthetic of Rocketeer. And I was like, wow, 12-year-old me is so stoked right now. Like,
One of the
wow.
things I loved about the first backup here was so Sydney and Henry are descending to the island, and Henry's like,
Yeah.
"What have you gotten me into?" And Sydney's like, "No, no, it's fine, it's fine. It's just it's Nazi dinosaurs, crazy cultists. Like this is normal for me." And Henry's like,
Just another Tuesday.
I don't
Yeah.
think it is actually. It's not even normal for me, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
stop an apocalypse right now. So
Yeah.
okay. And I love that. Immediately going like balls to the wall, pardon my French,
Yeah.
of like
Oh, yeah.
a crazy concept like this sets up an expectation for Sydney's adventures being unpredictable. And so is that unpredictability, is that going to be a core feature of these stories?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of upping the ante. Like when I write comics, I'm thinking of the Wednesday Warrior. Every single comic I write, especially in the Lost Fantasy universe, whether it's Fireborn, Lost Fantasy, or more to come, it's all going to be all killer, no filler. Like I just every page matters to me. I'm leaving nothing wasted. Every reader, like their eyeballs will just be like they will be serviced with every page. Like I just know how much a comic costs, and I'm never gonna waste someone's $4, $5, $6, right? And with each issue in this three-parter, like I cannot wait at the end of the month for people to see the last page of part two because believe it or not, we one up Nazi dinosaurs.
Well, I give a big hell yeah to that. Okay.
That's
Speaking
right.
of Fireborn, my next question
Yeah.
is starting with issue number two, you're writing a backup called
Yes.
Edge. Am
Yes.
I right to believe that this will follow Lost Fantasy's major antagonist, Edge? What can you tell me about the story? I know it hasn't came out yet, but is there anything you
Yeah.
can tell us about that?
Yeah. Some preview pages that have already been published. I can talk about it. So essentially, this is some Edge side quest and backstory. So he is hunting for, like in Fireborn, there are, there's eggs, right? There's eggs that are giving me superpowers, and that's how Fireborns come to be. Well, there's a dragon, the last living dragon, that Edge is hunting for. If he can just subdue this dragon, he thinks he can not just rule the world below, but maybe the world above as well, our world. And my story is the start of that quest to, well, in this part when Fireborn 2, which is out end of this month. And it will continue and see how his journey is with this dragon. And it will ultimately lead to pivotal parts in not just Fireborn, but Lost Fantasy. Because when we write these books, we want a cohesive universe. We want to write books that, if, let's say, you're just sticking to Lost Fantasy, great. Everything you read in Lost Fantasy, you will never be confused. You will get, you will be satisfied with your read. If you read Fireborn, same thing. But then when you read both of them, or, more books to come, it's just going to be this cohesive, thought out thing. Like, just for example, Lost Fantasy 9, when you read that, if you read it right before Fireborn #1, like, it leads right into it. And, that's just fun, man. You're rewarding your readers for supporting this universe and making it a blast. And, our Wednesday era was mid 2000s to 2010s, me and Kurt. So, like, if we can emulate that Bendis energy, that Jeff Johns energy, we're going to. And yeah, Edge for me, like, I love writing villains. I had a great time with that in Archie versus Minor Threats. And Edge is, believe it or not, he's our Venom meets Kylo Ren character. Like, that's just the vibe. That's his vibe. He's Venom and Kylo Ren with giant swords. It's sick.
Yeah, I've loved reading about him already, the juxtaposition between him and Henry, his
Yes.
aggressive approach to changing the world that
Yep.
most people are not ready for. And so my next question, you're working on Edge with
Yes.
the wonderful Luca Castellanguida, who
He
loves
rocks.
drawing video game homage covers. I have one of them here, one of my favorites so
Mhm.
far, the Metal Gear Solid 2
Oh,
cover,
yeah.
which is gorgeous. I've been getting all of them. I adore them so much.
Love it.
Um, what has it been like working with Luca? And I have a follow-up question after that.
Yeah.
If you could pick a video game for him to do a cover of, what would it be?
Oh, great. So, in a nutshell, working with Luca is, and you want this with, I mean, this is the dream with any artist. And I've been very lucky to feel this way with every artist I work with so far. I've been very, very blessed where he writes them down on the page of the script. And then when you get that email with it coming back to you, it's just 10 times better than you could have ever imagined. And there's a sequence in part 2 of Edge. I just got the email over the weekend where he created a monster that I gave him the concept for, and it's just so sick. Like, I just looked at it, like I was in the middle of working Free Comic Book Day, and I just couldn't help myself. I was like, looking at my phone real quick, and it was just the sickest thing. And it's video game inspired. I think, you know, it's shout out to readers that see the monster and be like, is that and yeah, it's gonna be an awesome it's a nice Easter egg reference because, like, with this world Lost Fantasy, we love video games, hence the homage covers, so, like, if we can play tribute to that type of media. Hell yeah. In terms of homage covers, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 just got done with LF9. That's one of my all-time favorite game series. Metal Gear Solid, one of my all-time favorite game franchises. We have a variant cover for LF10 on the way. What's the next one needs to be down the road real soon here? GoldenEye. Give me GoldenEye.
Man,
I
that
need a
would be
GoldenEye homage
so
cover.
good. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on board 100%. I love Luca's art. It's what made me
He
fall in love
rocks.
with the first issue of Lost Fantasy. It has a little
Oh,
bit of like Magnola in it. Like, I could tell
oh
he's
yeah.
he's a fan of those heavy inking
Hmm.
and the colors and the monster designs. It's gorgeous. I can't wait to read Edge with your writing and his art together. It's
Thanks,
going to be
man.
fantastic. Like, these comics, they're packed full. I mean, each one has giant size written
Yeah.
on there, and you guys are not playing around. these are worth the money every single time, and I'm so glad I've been pulling them.
Thank you.
I have never been disappointed by a single issue of Lost Fantasy, and Fireborn kicks so much ass right out the gate. It's awesome.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it
So
does.
we've spent a
Thank
lot of
you.
time talking about these two awesome books,
Yeah,
but there's another one that's right there that we need to step in and examine, and that's Archie versus Minor Threats. So the Archie
yeah,
crew are sent on a field trip to Twilight City,
yeah,
and Sabrina messes the whole thing up by getting them involved with Playtime, the main character, one of the main characters in the Minor Threats
yeah.
universe. And the Minor Threats, these are bad guys. These are low-level villains who are trying to make names for themselves. And so what was it like to collide these two worlds of career criminals and easily influenced Riverdale students?
Yeah, it's we all make the joke constantly still that like this is just a crossover that should just never happen. It's bonkers. But the craziest, most bonkers crossovers with Archie are the best crossovers. My all-time favorite Archie book is probably Archie Meets the Punisher. It's just, what a ridiculous crossover. And so there's that very much in the DNA of Archie versus Minor Threats. But this book is so many dream quests fulfilled. Not side quests, dream quests. As an Archie and comic book fanatic, I mean, on the Archie side of things, we get to tell Archie Breaking Bad, like having him, be a villain, and with that comes for me the ultimate definition of Archie Andrews of why he's cool to me and why he is just, it's my definitive Archie story. By the end of that book, you like if I never wrote Archie Andrews again, that's my Archie story. And I am just so proud of it. And Sabrina the Teenage Witch, one of my all-time favorite mystical characters. She's so up there. And I got to tell this badass Sabrina story where I got to play with her origins and her lineage. And our collaborator, just the amazing Scott Koblish, a dear friend of mine for over a decade now. So to be able to work on my first 4-issue mini with Scott was just a dream come true. Before the book was even scripted, when the outline was happening, where me, Pat, and Jordan were jamming, I was like, Merlin and knights and her ancestors, Night Witch, and this image of Sabrina in just this sick suit of armor with a sword and the broom, and Salem going, wait, what? Like, that was just something I was like, we're writing this in this, and it worked. And yeah, I'm just so proud of that book. And then to be able to write my mentors and best friends, Pat and Oswald Jordan Bloom's creations, was just such an honor. And then to have their guidance on the entire project, like the writer I was before Archie versus Minor Threats is not the writer I am now. Like I learned so much through this series and process. Like I'm eternally grateful for it. Gosh, I went into it just, you know, a writer, and now I've come out of it like, yeah, I can write a mini series, and it's awesome. Like I've learned so much, and it's given me just to go forward with in my career. And Archer vs. Minor Threats is a book I'm so proud of, and I'm just yeah, I love it. It's my favorite. I think it's the coolest Archie crossover in a long, long time. I'm very thankful for my time in Riverdale. No trip scheduled as of now, but I'm very, very much having fun with what I'm up to in Lost Fantasy, cooking up with Kurt and Franklin and Eamon and Luca, and yeah, and the creator own stuff. 4 titles in 2027.
I'm
That's all
so
I'll say.
excited to see what hits the shelves with your name on it.
Thank you, man.
And for everybody else, that wants to read more of Timmy's
Yeah.
work, check out Archie vs. Minor Threats, which is now in trade paperback. You can order that here at
Mhm.
Castle Perilous Games and Books, pick it up off the shelf, or at any of your local comic book stores. Please hit up local comic book stores, like Timmy said. Like we are sort of the lifeblood of the community, and
Mhm.
with that's why we started doing these videos. We want, as
Yeah.
retailers, we want to develop community with you guys as
Yeah.
writers. and the artists and the editors and everyone that works
Mhm.
in the comic book industry, because we're all in this together. Additionally, check
Well
out
said.
Fireborn and Lost Fantasy. Put it on your
Mhm.
pull list. Get in there before those final order cutoff dates because pre-orders matter to us so much. We want to make sure we can
So
fulfill
true.
everybody's comic book wishes. We've got more Fireborn on the shelf. Please come check
Mhm.
it out. It is fantastic. And starting in issue number 2, you're going to see Timmy write with Luca one of the coolest stories that we're probably going to see all year. Plug your socials and anything else you want to plug here
Yes.
that you want
Yeah.
people watching to know about.
Yeah, I'm comic book Timmy on everything, straight to the point. Comics are my life and Timmy's my name. And yeah, May 20th is the Lost Fantasy #9 second print, Bombshell Part 1, after the massive sellout of that issue. And then on May 27th, a week later, it's a double whammy of Fireborn 2, which has Edge in it, Part 1, and then, of course, Bombshell Part 2 and the pages of Lost Fantasy 10, which also, as well as the backup, continues Henry's crazy story that Kurt's cooking up. Can't wait for you to meet a character that he's introducing in that issue. Yeah, man. End of May. It's going to be end of this month. Lots of Lost Fantasy and Fireborn goodness. And yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm so excited to see your work
Thanks.
come to shelves and into people's
Thank you.
hands. And I'm going to be rooting for you guys because I want
Appreciate
the Lost Fantasy universe to go on for a long time. And I just know I'm going to see your name under an Archie title very soon. I have a good feeling about it.
it. Thank you. Hey,
All
appreciate
right.
that.
Thank you so much for your time, Timmy.
Thanks, man. Of course. Thank
And
you.
thank you guys for watching. Pull Fireborn and Lost Fantasy.
Hell
All right.
yeah.
Have a great day.
Thanks, man.